Ethan might have wanted to kill people, but Matt actually did.
Hey, he didn't mean to crash that boat.
He didn't crash it.
That slip-up by Dexter is indicative of the fact that his best killing days are behind him. Dexter is clearly past his prime, and is rusty to boot. His sloppiness with the undisciplined, spur-of-the-moment kill of Matt Caldwell was only the beginning, and I think Dexter has been wrong with almost every assumption he had in this episode. Dexter's Deb monologue reveals that he believes that Kurt Caldwell is lying because he doesn't trust the police. I do not believe this is correct, although the endgame probably does involve Kurt learning that Dexter killed his son, especially now that Dexter has given him reason to be suspicious of him. Based on Kurt taking the young lady to the isolated dwelling near the end of the episode, and previews for next week indicating this lady will become victim to the record-playing fella who uses his victims as target practice, this strongly suggests, as many have believed, that at the very least, Kurt is directly involved, if not the one solely responsible of shooting the women himself. They are leading us to believe that the theory I adhered to, that it was the Army Ranger / helicopter pilot killing the women, well, it's not quite the final nail in the coffin for that theory, but it is strongly suggested that Kurt is the culprit right now. Kurt being the actual killer or even just an accessory would help explain his desire to keep Matt alive so the investigation is halted. Although perhaps Dexter's theory about him not trusting the cops has more merit in all of this than we might otherwise suspect. Maybe Kurt does believe that his son was killed by Johnny Bullhorn for killing the majestic white buck. Another area I don't think Dexter is correct is regarding his assumptions about Harrison. Dexter seemed desperate to discover that Harrison had dark tendencies like his own. He was seeking out validation for this desire, and when he believed he finally found evidence of this, he looks mighty happy. But we already have a precedent here with Harrison's placement test. He got the best score ever, so he was accused of cheating, and Dexter questions Harrison as if he were lying. I honestly think the same type of thing is going on here, and that Harrison is a straight shooter. Remember, Dexter was very sloppy with his spontaneous murder of Matt, and he had the major slip-up with Kurt. Dexter is well past his prime. His peak killing years are in the past. I think his instincts are off here, and despite reconstructing the blood spatter on the crime scene and interpreting it in such a way that he believes Harrison was the aggressor, I think maybe Dexter is overlooking some alternate scenario that vindicates Harrison's version of events. At this point, I'm far more willing to trust Harrison than I am Ethan, and I'm more willing to trust Harrison over Dexter's gut instinct, because Dexter is way off. He's way past his prime. So I'm inclined to believe that Harrison genuinely felt bad for Ethan being a bully victim, that he didn't mean to hurt him, and that until we have more reason to believe otherwise, I still think Harrison is basically a decent lad who is in part being used as misdirection. I suspect he will use that drone to stumble upon something dangerous that he shouldn't see, and that this will endanger his life. Because that's been one of the constants with Deb and Dexter until this episode, that by being around Harrison, Dexter is selfishly putting him in danger.
I thought you wanted to do the Matt Caldwell story.
Well, you know, every great podcast starts about one thing and then ends up somewhere completely unexpected.
That, I think, is a big clue, and I suspect this dynamic duo is directly connected to Dexter's ultimate demise. We have definitive evidence that the podcaster is very familiar with the Trinity case. If Angela and Molly become this ultimate detective duo, how long before they realize that the baby she was talking about in Miami was a boy named Harrison? How long before Angela realizes that Harrison is that boy? And from there, how long before Angela learns that Jim Lindsay is Dexter Morgan? It's been mentioned repeatedly that Angela is an ace in her profession, and we know Molly excels at what she does. Is it that much of a stretch that this dynamic duo will learn that Angela is dating the Bay Harbor Butcher himself? Regardless of the Matt Caldwell investigation, and regardless of the record-playing nutjob executing women, at the end of the season, I have to believe that Angela and Molly will be the ones who finally expose the monster that is Dexter Morgan. And one final thought regarding Kurt as the killer. Things feel very straightforward right now. Kurt took the young lady someplace, and we know next week she winds up in the room where the last lady was taken out. But maybe there is a missing piece of the puzzle here that leads from A to B, and maybe Kurt's role as the big bad does not necessarily place him in the role as the killer. I still have not lost all hope on the Army Ranger theory, especially since last week, deliberately not showing his face. It all feels a little too convenient the father of Dexter's first victim in 10 years would just so happen to be a serial killer. But we will know with certainty soon enough. This was a solid episode that definitely helped set the stage for the final 6 episodes, and I for one look forward to seeing how this plays out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful night.
I believe while Tess was gone, Harrison used his cell phone to look up answers.
I did not.
Did you cheat?
You accusing me of lying, Jim?
Did he knock you down first?
I don't...
Do you remember if he was holding the knife in his left or right hand?
No, I don't remember which fucking hand. I was attacked. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to...
He even eats like me.
I mean, Ethan might have wanted to kill people, but Matt actually did.
Hey, he didn't mean to crash that boat.
He didn't crash it.
That guy's fishing, and I just nibbled.
Crawling in a pool of his mother's blood. How fucked up is that kid now? Am I right?
Harrison attacked him from behind. Then he stabbed himself to sell us on this story.
I did not.
I thought you wanted to do the Matt Caldwell story.
You know, every great podcast starts about one thing and then ends up somewhere completely unexpected.
Jesus fucking Christ, you're the Bay Harbor Butcher.
I really hate that name.
I always knew there was something with you. But this shit...
What can I say? You were right about me.
Are you the Bay Harbor Butcher?
This is the place to talk about this. Deb?
He did this. He's the Bay Harbor Butcher. He has to be. You're a good cop. You're a good person. You're not like him. Put him down! Beg.
To his own severed head. A head which at this time has no name.
I know his name.
Is there any progress on putting up that stop sign over by Lewis's package store? That's an accident waiting to happen.
Surprise, motherfucker.